Thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, it's still this morning on ITV, reaching you live from our network service. Now, today, the Monday's edition of your ultimate news and current affairs program, we dive into the heart of democracy as we dissect the aftermath of the recently concluded SYCLE elections now in KOGI, BAYELSA and IMO State. There have been reports of irregularities, ballot box snatching, rampant vote buying, and even face-off between military personnel and talks have raised serious concerns, and there are a lot of questions that is glaring for answers now about the integrity of our electoral process. Now we're going to join the conversation right now as we dive into it. We have beautiful guests joining us. We have a seasoned politician and another statesman in the Labour Party. He's of the Apapa faction. He's a person of Dr. Abayomi Arabambi, who is joining us live virtually from Abuja, the state capital. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Abayomi.
Yeah, thank you, Nigerians. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the beautiful people of Edo State.
Thank you so much for coming. And of course, all the way from Lokoja, we have with us a pragmatic political analyst. He's a person of Apostle Dr. Gideon Issa. Thank you so much for joining us, Apostle Gideon.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, DPU.
All right, now let's quickly get to Dr. Abayomi. Dr. Abayomi, you're going to help us now. Looking at the just concluded SYCLE elections in the 3 states, there are so many gray areas that is calling for serious, definite answers. What's your take on the election so far? Let's kick it off from there, Dr. Abayomi.
Thank you very much. The SYCLE election in 2 states have been concluded yesterday, and by and large, there were altercation, counter-claim, counter-argument, accusation here and there, which I believe, normally the politicians, is what you would expect because of the rot in the system had been issued before now. There were issues, that needed to be guided in our future elections. But as it is, the Electoral Act is very clear. Whatever you pick on radio or via the internet might not be 100%, correct. The ruling party will always tell you election is free and fair, but the opposition party will always tell you, the election is full of political brigandage. So we will continue to, manage, ourselves until when we get it right. But right now, the economy, as far as I'm concerned, will be the cause of most of these shenanigans that we witness in our electoral system. But I know that one day, we'll be able to get it better when the economic situation improves. So I will be more explicit on that, in the course of the program.
Okay.
But it has come and gone. INEC as the returning officer, has announced the move, and where the incumbent governor was declared as the winner in the KOGI state. There were skirmishes here and there, even to the extent of, I think they say whether some 19 polling units, but electoral act says the combined number of registered voters there in those 19 polling units does not have any significant effect, between the difference of the leading candidate and the second. The result has to be declared, and exactly that was what he did yesterday, where Usman Odudo of APC was also declared, as the governor-elect. We are still waiting for BAYELSA. So that's just my take, on that yesterday. That as we progress, we'll not be able to bring the fact.
All right, definitely. As we progress, we'll be getting more details from you. Let's go to Lokoja now, where Dr. Gideon is standing by. Dr. Gideon, what's your opinion on the overall conduct of INEC, political parties and stakeholders in the election so far? You were on the ground in KOGI State where the election took place. So let's have your view and tell us your overall take on the election, Dr. Gideon Issa.
All right, thank you very much, Nigerians, and thank you very much, everyone that's listening. I was actually on ground all through this process of this by-election in Kogi State. I think I followed the process from the beginning, right from even when they were doing primaries. And I must to tell you that in as much as I am a clergy, and that is one of the major reasons that whatsoever I will say, or whatsoever review I will give is from a place of honest view and the most neutral ground.
Okay.
You know that I'm very neutral because almost all the candidates that participated in the election
visited your church.
All of them, they were in my church.
Okay.
They came to visit, and I know all of them. So that is more reason that I am giving a very honest, and I will give a very honest review on this election.
Okay.
First of all, I will commend the Chief Security Advisor to the President, Alhaji Nuhu Ribadu. He did a very wonderful work in terms of security. I want to equally commend the Chief of Defense Staff. He did a very wonderful job in terms of security. And I want to commend the Inspector General of Police. He did a very wonderful job in terms of security in Kogi State. I think since 1999 till date, this is the most peaceful election that we have had in Kogi State. I want you to mark that word, peaceful. Only peaceful. This is the most peaceful election that we've had in Kogi State, that no civilian was killed.
Okay.
In 2019, a woman was burnt alive in some parts of Kogi State in Ejule, and a lot of people died. But this year, the only people that died are political thugs that did not listen to our pleading and advice, and they went to go and carry ballot box. They were the only one that the Nigerian army gunned down. The Nigerian army and the police, they were almost on one kilometer on the express down to my hometown.
So no innocent life was lost, apart from those ballot box snatchers.
Yes, no life was lost apart from ballot box snatchers.
Okay.
That is to say, that gives the credibility that this particular by-election in Kogi State is the safest and I think the most safe election since 1999 to date. And then in terms of INEC and in terms of the election, first of all, this election is a highly contested election. How is it highly? The three major tribes of this state have their representative on the ballot.
Okay.
I think it has not happened like this before. They have from the west, we have the Lake Abejide Chairman's Committee on Custom on the ADC ticket. We have Dino Melayo of the PDP. We have Brimo, that is from the west. And then from the central, we have Alhaji Usman Ododo. And then from the east, we have the likes of Vice Admiral Usman, the former chief of Naval Staff, retired. We have Alhaji Muritala Ajaka. We have the Labour Party candidate from the eastern part of the state. So it is somehow a highly contested election. So, but when you come to how the electoral process went, in my own polling unit where I voted, that is in Igalamela, I must to tell you that the voting materials were on ground in time, and voting accreditations were done, and and then the votes were counted before me, and there was no any form of irregularity in my local government.
Okay.
That is in Igalamela or the local government.
Okay. But in Kogi State in general, what's your take on the election so far? Kogi State in general, because the
in Kogi State in general,
yeah.
You know, the last time that I was on here, I told you that Nigeria democracy and the Nigeria election is not a type of election that any reputable man of God that values his reputation will put his name online and risk to go and give any prophecy about it, because it is something that all of us know that the nature of politics in this country is the type that anything can happen. It's a type that anything can happen. So, and then in general, you know, what actually happened, I won't blame anybody. Now, in 2019, all those people, all the people that contested, apart from Lake Abejide, they were all former APC members.
Okay.
All the contestants, excluding Lake Abejide and the candidate of Labour Party, they were all APC members.
Right. Okay.
In this same year that we are, this same irregularity that we are complaining of, in my polling unit in Igalamela, I was rooting for P2B, but Tinubu won in my polling unit on the influence of Ajakada is in SDP presently now. I don't know if you understand.
Okay,
that is in SDP presently now. And there were equally other irregularities. So that thing that happened in February is the same thing that happened now.
All right.
There were a lot of serious issues. There were a lot of issues. I think this is one of the most highly contested elections because with the electoral results that came out from the central, in Kogi East, we have the largest local government by landmass, which is taking up, that is, they are having 170 or 180 plus thousand registered voters.
Okay.
And the accredited voters that came out from that place is around 40,000. That is after the accreditation as reported on IRF.
Okay. All right, now we'll get.
And then when you go to the central, we have local government like Adabi. The total number of registered voters are 103 or 104,000, and the votes that came out from there was 100,000.
Okay. All right, let's get to Dr. Abayomi now. Dr. Abayomi, the prevalence of vote buying and snatching of ballot boxes has raised its ugly head again in this just concluded election. How does this impact on our electoral process, Dr. Abayomi?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Just like I said, we have to blame the system before now, and we should always pray, that we get it better some other time. When you say vote buying, because of the economization of our country, virtually a lot of Nigeria have been decimated economically, because of what we have had in this country before. Remember before the present administration, Nigeria were virtually on autopilot, vis-a-vis the economization of our country, where we are borrowing loan to finance over 90% of our budget. That is, we use virtually 100% of our income to service loan, not to even pay. So that means our budget is on autopilot, auto credit, and that has had a lot of impact. We are not producing in Nigeria. Dollar is having its reign, in our country. So when an opportunity comes for a family of 5 during an election, you can't preach to them. They are not going to listen to you, because when you are hungry, you'll be angry. It's not easy for any family man to look at his family, weeping over their inability to get something on their table. They don't care about what happened. They don't care about what happened in the next 4 years. Once somebody come and say, "Oh, I have 10,000 per voter," they will definitely change their mind. The mother 10K, the father 10,000, maybe 4 grown-up children. That's almost 60,000. They don't care. They don't care. They will just take that money, vote, not even according to their own conscience, and they will go home. So even when you are even arrest such a person, you are only wasting your time.
So it's not their fault in a way that they actually collected some of those monies that was given to them at the polling units. Is that what you're saying? Are you there, Dr. Abayomi? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Are you saying in a way we shouldn't blame them for collecting money in the polling units? We shouldn't blame the voters for collecting money from these politicians in a way?
I said because of the economization, we should not come on there and be deceiving ourselves. A man who has nothing to eat due to no fault of his, but fault of the system, for the fact that he finds himself living in Nigeria. I just explained to you during the Buhari administration, we are not generating what we are generating. We use it to service loan. How do you explain that to another Nigeria? How do you explain that to a Nigeria who expected an atmosphere, to be, a conducive in his country for him to be able to fend for himself? So when they go there, they will change their mind. They said an hungry man is an angry man. That is the, normal things, that we hear in there. All over the world. People are hungry, preach to them in a country where they are in for 60, 50, 30 years. They are unable to, even take 1 meal per day. They will even manage it. Who will be happy to see his children, crying, "Daddy, mommy, we have not eaten since yesterday." And that person will not say opportunity. You said the person should not go. The fourth is on the system.
Okay.
The fourth is on the government. The fourth is on our administration. Administrators. Enabling environment must be provided. How do you explain where we are buying $1 for 1,100 naira? How do you explain that to a peasant farmer who is unable even to have, chemicals, necessary things, for him to use on the farmland? How do you blame a farmer who is unable to transport his goods to the town for him to sell? Okay. And when that person now see an opportunity, somebody will go there. You want to go and preach to that person. "Oh, don't take that 10,000." He will just look at you and say, "Look at this man. Get the way up, get the fuck off my shoulder." He's not going to listen because he is hungry due to no fault of his. I don't see any reason why government. I keep saying it. Why government should not be paying our coppers salary, even after they are done, the normal 1 year service. I don't see anything why unemployed Nigerian cannot be placed on salary. Because we have NIM now, that one is easy for you to know how many are benefited. So even if you are going to ask them to pay back when they are gainfully employed, fine. But they must be engaged. How do you explain a man and a woman that have contributed 30-something years service and they are not paid pension? They will still continue to sell the little they have to fend for their children after leaving university, after leaving polytechnic. How do you explain that? It is the system, my dear brother, that I'm going to put the whole blame on our administrator. Okay. The time is now for our administrator to change the narrative. Let us look inward and take care of our citizens.
And now talking about changing the narrative, Dr. Gideon, in other parts, if you actually allege that in KOGI State, it was free and fair to an extent in terms of security, but in other parts of the nation, in IMO State and BAYELSA, there are reports that hoodlums had serious face-off with security personnel. Now, how does this impact our electoral process, and what is the way forward, going forward, Dr. Gideon?
All right. As regards IMO, you know that IMO State have been having a pending security issue as regards the agitation for the Biafra. That one is a serious pending issue that have been on ground all this while. And it's part of what might result to their own insecurity in Imo State. But when we go to BAYELSA, I feel that one of the reasons that there is insecurity there is a clash of power. Clash of power in the sense that the candidate of the APC is trying to prove that he has the federal might, and the governor is trying to prove that I'm the CSO of the state. I saw a video for one of the aides of the APC candidate that was stripped naked with ammunition and guns in his hand, and he was saying that he was saying some things. So what does that relate to you? He is now the aide to the APC candidate, who is a chieftain of the APC at the national, and the governor is trying to prove that I am the CSO of this state, and I must tell you that this place is not Abuja. That if you know Abuja, me too, I know Abuja. That is purely clash of power that is happening there. But at the end of the day, the effect will still be on the masses. The effect is still going to be on the common man, because a time will come that the common man will lose interest in democracy, and that is what we are trying to avoid. The reason why you see some of us bringing ourselves out from the pulpit to see how we can sanitize and sensitize this Nigeria for democracy not to be in this state of shambles, that people will regret voting, is because if it continues and irregularities like this continue, a time will come that a lot of us will not be proud to say I'm a Nigerian. Now, let me take you back to February. One of the reasons some of us were agitating for Mr. P2B is not because he's a Christian. It's because I know that under the watch of P2B, a place cannot have accredited voters of 179 and 1,200 votes will come out from there. I don't expect such irregularities to happen, and with his caliber and personality, he will allow such things to happen. But This is the same thing that happened in February, and the same thing happened in KOGI. And because, you know, they say who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Okay.
And because these people they know already, okay, the SDP candidate says it's not challenging the outcome of the result.
Yeah, that's not going to court.
In the court.
He said it's not going to court. Yeah, that was what he said.
On channels that is not challenging it in the court. And what does that say to us? That is to say I have taken the outcome like this. Mind you, prior to this election, 2 weeks before, prior to this election, he and the incumbent governor of this state, they were best of friends. They were snapping almost every week. There were a lot of photo shots coming from the both of them every week. In the presidential election, the KOGI Central presidential election campaign, Alhaji Murtala Ajaka was in Okene to campaign alongside with the governor. That is to say, the both of them have their own cordial relationship before interest, which is one of their major goals, their major distinct in politics, made them to go separate ways. It is interest that made them to go separate ways. So after interest made them to go separate ways, that is what brought the face-off between the two of them. But because he knows how the system operates, that is why I feel that is why he said that he's not going to court. Because I looked at the whole thing, the number of votes that came out from the east and the number of votes that came out from the west and the number of votes that came out from the central, they are different. And then if you should go to IREV, I think we have IREV uploaded 98% of all the results. And another thing INEC needs to do is that there is something that is saying that the total number of accredited voters will be updated because it's still synchronizing. I don't know how long it will take INEC to synchronize the total number of accredited voters and upload it once and for all. If it is what they will need help from China, we should call people from China to come and rectify that error. That if there are accredited voters in this place, let it be that social number that is transmitted now is the final one. There's nothing like synchronizing, and there's nothing that they will say it will take time before it will finally come.
Okay.
And if they're not going to be using beavers, they should draw beavers, let them do manual.
Okay. All right. Now, go ahead.
Because the way it is, if INEC cannot actually give the number of accredited voters within 24 hours after an election, saying that it depends on the machine, then what is the use of the beavers? The aim of using beavers is to make sure overvoting is avoided. And in that same regard, overvoting is still happening, even when the beavers is on ground. So I feel that instead of that, beavers should be boycotted and let it be manual. Okay. Now, the remark of Alhaji Murtala Ajaka of the SDP, he says that he never knew that they were going to the jungle, that if he knew, he could have come prepared. That is the level democracy has come to in Nigeria. Okay. You know, politics is not something of emotion. Like they say, there is no permanent friend in politics. There is no permanent enemy in politics. Like we say, they say they only have permanent interest.
All right, Dr. Gideon.
That is why people that are emotional about it, I will tell them not to be emotional.
All right, Dr.
Imagine
Gideon.
emotional supporters of Dino now, emotional supporters of Murina that will be saying, oh, we feel, and at the end of the day, the remark they are getting is that they are not challenging the outcome of the results in court.
Okay. All right, Dr. Gideon.
My brother, Dr. Arabami, I believe you know how they will feel when they discover that who they have been supporting says is not going to court to challenge outcome of an election that he complained that 98% of it was rigged. Okay. All right, Dr. Gideon.
Dr. Gideon.
So,
Dr. Gideon.
Like I said earlier, that is democracy.
All right, Dr. Gideon.
But I must tell you that if it continues like this, a day will come, Nigeria will turn to a one-party nation.
All right, we'll get to you in a moment. Let's quickly pan to Dr. Bayomi, who is still joining us, and he's still with us. Dr. Bayomi, I would like to give you a little breakdown, and I'll be asking how this affects your party, the Labour Party. Now, in Imo State, APC came first, and they pulled a total number of 540,308 votes, and the PDP candidate got 71,503 votes. The Labour Party came a distant third of 64,081 votes. We are still waiting for BAYELSA result, mind you. We're still waiting, but while we're still waiting for BAYELSA result to come through, the PDP is leading in that state with a good number of 138,009 votes. The APC is coming second with 74,255 votes. The Labour Party is nowhere on this radar. And now in KOGI State, where the election has been concluded, APC pulled a total number of 446,237 votes, while the SDP candidate got 259,052 votes. Senator Dino Melaye of the PDP came a distant third of 46,362. The Labour Party is nowhere here. Now, what could be the resultant effect? Could it be that the current crisis rocking the Labour Party is one of the reasons why your party, the LP, is nowhere to be found around the first two numbers here on this radar? Dr. Abayomi.
Well, thank you very much. Presently, I consulted. We have a disjointed, uncommitted leadership, crisis, and until when that is settled, Labour Party performance, will always be like that. It's going to be very, very at this man. And why do I say this? We have a party chairman who is former or who still insisted, is going to be there at all costs. In this country, we have the lack of secondaries. Adam Oshomole, John Odidi Oyegun, and even the Benue man, the former chairman of PDP.
Yeah.
No, the former chairman of PDP, Yoshayu.
Yoshayu.
For God's sake, they have issues, and they all resign honorably. It's only in Labour Party that we can see Abure. When you are looking for a commercial national chairman, his name is Julius Abure. And that's why we fight this matter to a logical conclusion. And whosoever that is a supporter, they should keep supporting him. Labour Party will continue to fail. How do we fail? Why did we fail in the presidential election? We were asked to upload 195,000 body unit agents. For Elizabeth not to Abure, he uploaded 135,000. But do you know why? He was busy collecting money from candidates. He will remove this one, he will put this one back. He will remove this one, he will put this one back. He will just send a letter to INEC to change them illegally. And what now happened during the election? We did an NWC meeting. This guy came up to tell Peter Obi that we don't need to pay agent. I've never seen that kind of a person in my life. We didn't pay agent. All the agents went away with Labour Party results. And when we got to tribunal, we have nothing to show. We were now asking INEC, give us your result. They now gave us a blood one. Do you know they are not at fault? INEC has no blame. Because when you are going to election petition, you must go with your results. You will not juxtapose that with what INEC declare. You will put it in a table form as required by law. This is what I score. Look at our form. Do you know Labour Party we do not have a association room? How much was the cost of association room? But because a lot of people came with Obi on their leg to Labour Party, but they are now riding jeeps. Mercy of Abure, magnanimity. Criminal magnanimity. So that's what they came to do. They didn't pay them. We do not have a association room where we would have asked all our agents to upload results. During voting, after voting, you are empowered to snap that result, that clean one, you are empowered to snap. You will now send it to the station room. Station room will convert it to soft copy, and you will be seeing your figure, what you score. We didn't have any. Immediately at the election, they refused to pay common 10,000 to unit agent. All of them went home.
So are you saying all through the presidential election, your polling unit agent didn't get a dime all through that process, Dr. Bayomi?
I said, I am a member of WC. I said we do not pay agents. This is not the first time I'm saying it.
Okay.
Rather, people are buying SUV in Labour Party.
Okay.
Apure just turned himself to a commercial, national chairman of the party, and Apure was the one that killed the vision of the obedience. He was the one that killed the vision of Nigeria. It was the single handwork of Julius Apure. I am telling that. I've written petition. We are in court. He knows what I'm talking about. If they pay an agent, they should go and print the account whom they transfer that money to. They only share the money, and that gentleman came to run for election. He never knew Apure has his own mission. We now went to election petition without anything, and we said we want to win. Look at IMO. What happened in IMO? Senator Atan, the guy that contested the election. You know what happened during their primary? They did their own, we did our own. The court said, remove this man. This event that was supposed to be there. They said they have money, but they have seen the result. We went to that election, with different mindset. Look at KOGI. They will just go and collect money from someone. They will now fix his name on the ballot paper. They say, okay, go ahead. After you have used your power, go and now use your power to vote. To put him. Once you have used your power to put him on the ballot paper, now go and use your power now to catapult him to the government house. But the crisis in labor there, what we are saying was due to the result of the crisis that we're having with Apure.
Okay.
And it's going to be over very soon because his name will be expunged, from the INEC portal. Very, very soon officially, we're on that with him in court. And it's a battle that we are two parallel line. We will not meet. We will not meet. We are two parallel line politically. We are not going to have anything to do with him until when it's expunged. We don't want anybody to come and commercialize Labour Party to be buying vehicles for people rather than looking at the interests of the party.
Okay, Dr. Abayami, we'll get back to you in a moment. Dr. Gideon, if you're still there with us, now quickly help us out. Some political analysts are of the opinion that that they saw sitting governors talking about coming back to power without any hitch. That of the IMO state governor now, he made a statement and said APC is at the federal, APC is controlling the state, APC is at the local government level, and that's in a way it's a win-win for him. And of course, we've heard several times where the governor of KOGI state, the immediate past governor now, Ayahaya Bello, where he made boast that his candidate will win. Now, what do you think could be the impact of some of this statement, and how does it affect the voters in terms of election?
All right, thank you very much. The truth of this matter is this. Anytime an incumbent governor say that his candidate is going to win with all assurance and boldness, they are politicians, and politicians always believe that they are going to win. Even down till 5 days ago, the Labour Party candidate of KOGI State was still insisting that he's going to win. And at the end of the election, he didn't even get up to 3,000 votes or 4,000 votes. You understand?
I'm with you.
And then before this very election, the Labour Party in KOGI State, they had two candidates. One was a retired army colonel. He was from the Apapa faction. Later, they came with this present barrister Keme, that is now So at the time, KOGI people were even confused on who is the Labour Party candidate, because two people were already agitating for who owns the ticket. Before a court order now came, and then they now said, okay, that Barrister Okeme is now the candidate of the Labour Party. But of the truth, Barrister Okeme is not on ground. It's not on ground politically. It's not popular. Before this very, very election, we have not seen a single borehole or a toilet that has constructed anywhere in KOGI that the people can say because of this we can consider that it has the people at heart. It's not on ground politically. Let us not deceive ourselves. It's not on ground. I'll tell you the gospel truth of everybody, because in this election, Senator, I know all of them. There is none of them that I don't know. I know them well. I know them, and I interacted with them. It was not on ground politically. Then another thing is, anytime a sitting governor say, "Oh, my candidate, my party will win. My candidate, my party will win." If a sitting governor performs well, he shouldn't even struggle too much for his party to win an election. Is democracy. What the people need is dividends of democracy. The people doesn't want to go and sleep in government house. The people don't want to go sharing bedroom with the governor. No, what the people need is effective representation. What the people need is to feel the dividends of democracy.
Okay.
So if a sitting governor performs that on the 28th of every month you pay staff salary 100%, you pay gratuity when people work for 35 years and they retire, you pay them their due cost, you do development, you do roads. You won't. Now, one of the reasons why WK was able to install Simi Fubara is not even 100% of the grant of incumbent power. WK performed in River State. WK performed in River State, and he was using the project he has done as a campaign stand. So, but what we are trying to avoid is that let it not be that the reason a governor will win will be just because he's incumbent and he has the money and influence over INEC.
Okay.
Let it be that because of the performance of the governor, that is why his candidate won. Because if it will continue like this, a time will come that people will lose interest in democracy. As it stands now, Kogi State is almost turning to a one-party state. Because the opposition in Kogi, Dino of the PDP, he was given the tickets of the PDP, and unfortunately, he didn't even win his local government. It's as terrible as that.
Okay.
So, and then the SDP. I think in a short while from now, the SDP is a chieftain of the APC, even down to about some months ago. You understand? So, if it should continue like this, it's going to make some people to lose hope in democracy. Okay. So, what is now going to happen? Let every sitting governor perform well. All the people are yearning for. Like I always tell my people in Kogi State, don't vote for somebody because it's your religion. Don't vote for somebody because it's your tribal person. Vote for somebody based on capacity, competency,
okay,
and based on track record, based on what you see that they can do.
Okay. Now talking about,
and you should vote for people not based on religion.
Okay.
I've never pushed for a religion agenda. I've never pushed for a tribal agenda. I always tell the people, make sure that you try your possible best, that those that you are going to vote for is not just on the ground of religion, on the ground of your tribe, because they won't serve you poison in the cup of your tribe and you will drink it because your tribe is labeled on it.
Okay, now let's quickly get to Dr. Bayomi. Dr. Gideon will get to you in a moment. Now, Edo State is one of the strongholds of the obedient movement. We saw a spectacular outing in the presidential election. They actually pulled out in mass, both in Edo and in diaspora. We have so many obedient movement from this axis. Now, looking at the just concluded election, the rate at which the Labour Party performed, Edo State, mind you, is going to be in the forefront in 2024. The governorship election is just few weeks away from now. What's your take? How will this impact or affect the Labour Party in this side of the world, Dr. Abayomi?
By the grace of God, we are going to use Edo State to relaunch Labour Party back into the political hemisphere. And by that time, Abure will be a thing of history in Labour Party. He will have been confined to his Oromi to go and continue his farm work there. We will win Labour Party election. We are going to win that government election in Labour Party. And that is why we are struggling now. We quickly, move into court to go and enforce this judgment of the Supreme Court that has affirmed Apapa national chairman and that affirmed our right at NWC to nominate candidates. So for anybody in Edo State, if they are listening to me, anybody that paid nomination fee into Abure and has done in number shall. We will not give such a best consideration. You will repay that money back. Because we are in court. All of them need to be put on notice. We almost got it done last Friday. If not for that, in the opinion of the court, they said, INEC has joined issue with us and has become contentious. If not, Abure will have been expunged on Friday. They lied about the judgment of the Supreme Court, and they have nothing. They have come with the application for joinder. I will scan it to you. There was not a simple judgment there from Abure side, other than for it to be making mouth and eating our money. But we forgot and not say people, the Labour Party, we are going to deliver Edo State into the hand of Labour Party.
Okay.
We will have settled all these crises by then. We are coming with full force. Labour Party, whosoever candidate that will pick in Labour Party, I want to assure them that there won't be any crisis because we would have settled this leadership issue once and for all from the court, and our candidate will win that election. You can imagine Abure saying you want to run for election. You deceive some aspirant to pay money into the party account. You now say you want to run for the same election. What manner of political rascality is that? You want to run for election? You want to run for governor? A person that cannot win councillor election, you say you want to run for governor because you want to use people's money. How can people donate? How can people contribute their money? Or they will pay, money into the account of the party that I want to run. You, as somebody expect to be a non-biased empire, you now throw your hand into the ring. Have you ever seen a referee? When somebody has been given, a fall as a boxer, you want the opponent with a knockout, and instead of you now to be declared as the winner, the referee was supposed to raise up your hand. The referee decided to give you an hustler and now raise up his own hand as the winner. You want to take the bet. Who does that?
Okay.
So I don't want them to know, and I need to stand up not to warn because so that when they come, they will not come with those vain rhetorics. If any one of them continue to patronize Abure, they do so on their own risk.
Okay.
We will not give them any recognition.
All right.
Abure is not in charge. He is only saying that to buy time to start one thing from them. But the Edo indigene, I am giving them one assurance. We will come with a unified force, and we are going to win Edo State.
Okay. But what if all these crises are still lingering? Will it still lead Edo LP to victory next year?
No, let me tell you what has transpired.
Tell me. We're with you.
In federal court, IMO State, after our two different primary, one of their candidates went to court to say we do not have the locals and that Abure and Co are the one that should be allowed. But in that judgment, it was clear. The court said any primary conducted on the 15th of April is null and void, other than the one conducted on the 16th, because Abure has been restrained by the court for forgery, criminal impersonation. It was there. Now, they will now appeal. That appeal was dismissed. Lawyers will be listening to me. They appeal also to Supreme Court. It was dismissed. When you have an appeal that was dismissed, it means the judgment of the lower court subsists. They went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court dismisses the appeal of Senator Atan and the other Basi. That means the judgment of the federal court, that's the lower court, based on Constitution, subsists. So what the court says, that court says Papa, since is the one that signed the letter to INEC that, we have changed the primary from on the 15th to the 16th. Then any candidate that come out from there is a legitimate candidate. So that was what we have.
Okay.
We went to INEC and they said, you are not the plaintiff. That the prayer of the plaintiff do not include declaration of anybody as national chairman. Now we now approach the federal court. Okay. The game is running on Friday. Okay. Just 4 days ago. That we shouldn't worry, even if Atan win the election, it could be issue of Emeka Celeste Omea and Amechi in Rivers State. That we shouldn't worry ourselves. And then fight, reason to show cause, and they were saying some things that settled bad, this and that, but the court not disagree with them and said, no, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to listen to the substantive argument on the 23rd. We knew what they find. INEC find nothing against us because INEC are party in that matter from the federal court to court of appeal to Supreme Court. They slept on their right. They were served. They didn't make appearances, and that's none of our business. As far as law is concerned, once you are served and you fail to make your appearances, you are slept on your right.
Okay.
So that crisis will not linger on. By the time we return to court, it is an enforcement of that judgment that we went to federal court because federal court was the court of first instance. We went for enforcement of that judgment, which the court will grant us. It is not that we are looking for a fresh order from federal court. No. Supreme Court, the High Court in the land, has So Abura is going to be an history as far as Labour Party is concerned.
Okay, well.
This month, so he would have been sent packing to Isuromi to be running his transport and taxi businesses there, so that Labour Party can have life.
Okay,
again.
We'll return back to you. Dr. Abura is not here at the moment to probably defend himself. But let's quickly get to Apostle Gideon. Apostle Gideon, EFCC seized large sums of monies from political agents who actually were on ground at the polling units. How does this affect our electoral process? Can we see these as irregularities too? And going forward, what should be the way out of this?
All right. I saw that some cash were being recovered and by the EFCC. And one thing is this issue of vote buying in Nigeria, I don't think it will end very soon, except a miracle happens. Because these people are hungry, and the only opportunity they see to have this 5,000, 10,000 is during an election like this. And I feel that the government deliberately puts the masses to hunger for them to value the stipend they give them during election. Because it's quite unfortunate that someone will need to pay the electorate for them to vote for him. Meanwhile, it is something that you can do on the ground of the capacity that you have shown. Now, if it is other candidates that are even trying to buy votes, they will say, okay, because people doesn't know them. But an incumbent power is not even supposed to participate with vote buying, because the campaign is supposed to have been done by their capacity and by their performance. There's not supposed to be any form of vote buying by an incumbent power, because their campaign and what should buy the conscience of the people to vote for them naturally is if the person works well. So there's not supposed to be anything like vote buying. And what is the lesson that all this election is going to teach? Now, this election, the most surprising part of it is that the most surprising part of the election in Kogi State is the Kogi West. The Kogi West, they really played politics in this very, very election. None of the candidates from their region won, and they're all aligned with the APC. I think this is a rancor that have been on ground since 1999. What is playing now is a rancor that have been on ground since 1999, to the best of my knowledge. Okay. But how they were able to do that, to pull that through, even when we have the likes of Leke Abejide on the ballot, someone that is the most performing as a rep member in the North Central, someone that is seriously on ground, that used his influence in the NDC to win in his region, and equally won in Kaba for Architect, who is the candidate of ADC in the last very House of Rep election. They even defeated the sitting Speaker of the House of Assembly. That is for you to know that it's on ground. But miraculously, this person that is very, very rooted and on ground that we are saying, he barely didn't win. He won his local government by struggle. And in Kaba and his own region where he represents, the 4 local government where he represents, they didn't vote for him. So I became very surprised. What is the cause of that? So in that area, there's nothing like vote buying that we saw there. The area that we saw vote buying was in Kogi East. I went to my polling unit with a refreshment for the people there, for everybody there to be able to get refreshment, so that there will not be any need for any vote buying, because I feel vote buying is for the refreshment of people that came to stand to vote. That is the essence of vote buying, because 5,000, 10,000 can never be enough for them for one day. With the way that things are in Nigeria now, 5,000 is not enough for anybody. So I don't think it's to solve that problem. So I went there so that they will see by themselves that, okay, we have refreshment here. Okay. There's no need for you to even buy vote, for you to vote for who you feel. So, but we thank God that there was no life lost, and we thank God that the election has been conducted. But the issue of vote buying, I don't think that enough sensitization needs to be done to the stakeholders and the electorate for them to do that it is not only when you collect money from politicians that you will vote for them.
Okay.
So
all right now.
I won't blame the masses, because they don't see anything from the politicians until during election.
Okay.
So some of them collect and vote that party, and some will not even collect. So that is how it is.
Okay, now we'll quickly give out our phone number in case you want to join the conversation. The number will be displayed on your screen. It's 080-7777-0300. That's the number to call so that you can be part of this conversation. We'd like to hear from you and get your take on the just concluded off-cycle elections that actually took place in the 3 states, IMO, KOGI, and BAYELSA state, respectively. The number will be displayed on your screen. It's 080-777-0300. That's the number to call. Let's quickly get to Dr. Abayomi now. Now, Dr. Abayomi, going forward, what is the way out of some of these glitches and hitches that we always experience in our electoral process? What's the way forward, Dr. Abayomi?
Well, the National Assembly, needed to be up and doing now. Whatever digit, that is a notice, and the National Assembly, are the writers of our electoral act.
Yeah.
If they are willing to correct most of these issues, I think the better for Nigeria. That is for the National Assembly.
Okay.
That's for the National Assembly.
Okay.
For Nigeria, we all of us.
All right, Dr. Abayomi, let's quickly take this call, please. This person is on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Benin. My name is Mr. Osai.
Okay, Mr. Osai, thank you for calling. Go ahead and quickly make your contribution.
I just want to make my contribution in the area of that of Imo State.
Okay.
Now, it was largely believed that the man there, the governor there, is a Supreme Court governor. But I want to disagree with all those that have been peddling that in that both Peace or Duman is a brand and is a leader. For them to have not changed in narrative, what they've been saying since during this election, that was one way to say it's on the ground. He got the 27 local government. The other people that have been making noise say that it's not on ground, he didn't win the election, they couldn't even use their vote to change the narrative yet.
Okay.
So that means for you to tamper with any election result, you will have some people on your side.
Okay.
So for me, got it right, and they should stop saying that it's not on ground. It's
Okay.
the man of the people.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Osai, for calling. Thank you so much for being part of the program. Let's come back now. Dr. Abayomi, you were giving us your illusion, but let's quickly do 1 or 2 calls. Then we'll return back to call it a wrap on the program. Hello, good morning, caller.
Yes, advocate, I'm calling from Ecuador.
All right, go ahead and talk to us.
Yeah, you see, in a situation where people no longer believe in that they will get what they want through election, the democracy is no longer interesting. As it is now, it's not interesting, and things are precipitating into one-party state. I know that even the ruling party, people are not happy. There is hunger everywhere. Everybody is angry. Yet the party is still winning. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Okay.
And those that have kept quiet, it's not that they are happy, they don't know what to do. But people are losing grudges everywhere.
Okay.
Because the only party that wants to be in power, they are not people doing the best.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for being part of the program. I would have loved to do 1 more call, then we'll call it a wrap on that segment. All right, let's take your final word now, guest. Dr. Abayomi, you were actually you had actually had the floor. So let's quickly have your final take as we begin to call it a wrap, Dr. Abayomi.
Well, I've spoken about the National Assembly.
Yeah.
Then, to remaining, a citizenry that are scattered over the party, we must ensure internal democracy in our party.
Okay.
I mean, what do I mean by that? Look at IMO. The last caller just said, oh, President Supreme Court governor. You know who was not supposed to be the PDP candidate in Imo State? Because a lot of us, we need to check into the history. Emeka Ediola, the man that was removed by the court, was not even given form. Why now uses his position as the National Secretary or PDP? But he has seen the result. I told you about Senator Dan. He was not our candidate. I wouldn't use his position to say, oh, let me foster this man or them. When we continue to have issue within our internal democratic attitude.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
We continue to fail against incumbents.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Gideon, quickly, if you can help us, 10 seconds, just your final word. We need to go. Just 10 seconds. We need to leave it now.
All right. My final word is this. I would like every one of us that is a Nigerian. My final word is this. I want the politicians to do better. Now, this irregularity that was reported yesterday in some part of the central, I think in Ogorima Gongo, about 9 wards, they were totally cancelled and they did not even vote at all. They did not vote at all. And it's not supposed to be so. And on the IREF, we had some kind of irregularity that the IREF, the Beavers was capturing accreditation of 150 and saying that it will give actual result after synchronizing. And they were actually on paper that there were 800 to 900 voters.
Okay.
Now, in regards to that, I think INEC needs to do better on trying to give an accurate account.
Dr. Gideon, Dr. Gideon,
that are here within 24 hours.
Dr. Gideon, we need to go now. We run out of time. So sorry, I need to pause you there. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking time. Dr. Bayami, Dr. Gideon, for joining us on the program. We sincerely appreciate. All right, viewers, this is how far we can go on the program this morning on ITV. We'll see you on the next one. On behalf of the entire crew members, my name is Daniel Praise Osedebame. Good morning.